Good Sunday morning. I'm Jamie Weiss. Your top stories are just minutes away, but first, all I can tell you right now is that the family who lives inside this home behind me is doing okay. Now, this is the point where we aren't allowed to go past for fear of down power lines. I do want to point out that within the last 5 minutes, we did see the lights turn back on. Families made it out to the Benton County Sheriff's Office, but there's one thing that families were saying: more than trick or treat. The moment you cross over into Rogers' current city limits, that view doesn't change. But according to landowners in unincorporated Benton County, it could if this special election passes. Honestly, Craig, you're right. They are very brave because I'm shivering right now. But fortunately, sophomores like Anne-Marie's are letting me stay warm in their cardboard boxes. Moms and dads out there, I hope you guys are listening because every ride, including this one that we're on right now, gets inspected more than that. I've been waiting to ride this slide all day, and I'm so happy to report it's finally my turn. Live in Fayetteville, Jamie Weiss, 4029 News.
We want to begin tonight with the status of a local deputy who was stabbed today in our area. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paige Poisey.
And I'm Craig Cannon. The Sequoia County deputy is now out of the hospital. Police say the officer shot and killed the man who stabbed him. Let's go live to 4029's Jamie Weiss in Fort Smith. Jamie, tell us more about what happened.
Well, we do know that convicted sex offender Philip Trammell is dead tonight following a warrant for his arrest. When the deputy arrived at his home in Muldrow, he wouldn't have expected what happened next.
He come out and he made verbal statements that you're going to have to kill me. You're not taking me in.
A Sequoia County Sheriff's deputy arrived at Philip Trammell's home Friday afternoon to serve a warrant for forgery and child support. Trammell was also out of compliance with the sex offender registry. When the deputy entered the home, Trammell was hiding underneath a pile of clothing before he popped up with a 6-inch knife
and stabbed our deputy in the arm and in the chest. The deputy then returned fire, striking Mr. Trammell.
It's a scene all too familiar to neighbors in the area.
We hear a lot more sirens than what people think in a small little town like this, so I mean, yeah, it's pretty normal though for that house, not to lie, but yeah.
The identity of the deputy has not been released, but he is expected to make a full recovery. He was released from the hospital just before 7 p.m.
The doctor did tell me that he was very lucky.
When I was at the scene this afternoon, I saw a little boy in the window of the home. I asked the Sequoia County Undersheriff if he had any relationship to Trammell, but unfortunately he could not confirm that. We're reporting live in Fort Smith tonight. Jamie Weiss, 4029 News. Well, this isn't the closure that Marla Schaefer was hoping for. It's been 2 months since Christy Nichols' body was found in this parking lot, but Schaefer is still no closer to getting answers about what happened to her best friend. Springdale police announced today they're closing the case of Christy Nichols' mysterious death.
I don't understand how you can close a case when there's this mystery behind why she went missing in the first place.
Marla Schaefer had been friends with Christy Nichols for only a few years, but felt as if she knew her for her entire life. I sat down with Schaefer moments after the Springdale Police Department told 4029 News the cause of death for Nichols was officially listed as undetermined.
So many of us wanted answers. You know, people don't just die in their cars. And the not knowing is probably going to drive me crazy a lot longer than just today.
The Springdale Police Department declined our request to talk on camera, saying, quote, "I believe the victim's family needs to begin working on healing and don't feel that an interview will help with that," and added that, quote, "There was no evidence that a crime had been committed and therefore the case has been closed. But that isn't stopping Schaefer from fighting for her friend's legacy."
I'd like to see policies changed with the Springdale Hospital. I would like to see video surveillance there for sure. And I'd like to see changes with the police departments and how they handle missing person cases.
Schaefer told me that even though the outcome of this case wasn't what she had hoped for, she said she's going to remember Christy as a happy-go-lucky friend who was always there for someone in need. Reporting in Springdale tonight, Jamie Weiss, 4029 News. Once a December, Towson's Barbershop turns away paying customers to offer free haircuts and has been doing so every year for the past 32 years.
We do the haircuts for free and ask for donations that are then given to Samaritan House to buy food and help feed the area kids that are hungry.
Haircuts and hunger don't seem like an obvious connection, but just like hygiene,
I don't think you get very much more basic than hunger.
And it's a cause that's personal to volunteer stylist Debbie Trammell.
I have 5 grandchildren of my own, 2 children that have never had to go to bed hungry. And I can't imagine, as a parent or a grandparent, seeing your children go without food. So that's why I'm here today, is to maybe help feed some Benton County children and keep them from having to go hungry at night.
The donations made today keep families full longer than just the night.
The thing that's great about this is it invests in food for the next 2 to 3 months that we'll be giving away once people have kind of gotten past the Christmas season, which is a great thing.
Together, they're shearing happiness for the community, one haircut at a time. In Rogers, Jamie Weiss, 4029 News. Tonight on 4029, 2 days, 2 different school shootings. The procedures area schools have in place to keep your child safe in an active shooter situation. And an initial report detailing what ignited a deadly drilling rig explosion. Today, crews recovered the bodies of the 5 rig workers killed, where those workers were from. Plus, a first for one local student riding a bike all on her own. How her cousin helped design and create a device that lets little Gracie ride a bike with one hand.
Live, local, late breaking. This is 4029 News at 9 on the Arkansas CW.
Terrifying moments inside a high school in Kentucky. A student opening fire on classmates arriving to school. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jamie Weiss. Tonight we know at least 2 people are dead, multiple shot. This is the second high school shooting over the last few days. We spoke to local police who say they take active shooter situations seriously and prepare for them with trainings throughout the year. Bentonville police say officers practice how to respond with different tactics and equipment for any setting. Jean Page with Bentonville Police says they'll respond with one goal in mind: saving lives.
Every situation is going to be different. We work really closely with our local school district, as do most police departments do, to make sure the faculty and law enforcement and first responders are all working on the same sheet of music.
Rogers, Springdale, and Fayetteville all say their students practice lockdown drills. Springdale and Fayetteville say most of their teachers go through active shooter training as well. Now let's get to the latest on details of that deadly shooting in Kentucky. From ABC On Scene tonight. Congress has until February 8th to reach a new budget agreement ahead of another possible shutdown. This morning we know the victim of a shooting is expected to be okay. That shooting happened in Bentonville in the area of Southwest Regional Airport Boulevard and Southwest I Street. Police say around 3 o'clock yesterday shots were fired inside of a car and that one of the 5 juveniles inside was hit. They were treated for a gunshot wound and later released. 2 male juvenile suspects fled the scene and were later taken into custody. Well, tonight we'll leave you with this. One woman is flying high at 92, and by that we mean she's celebrating her 92nd birthday with indoor skydiving in Texas. And she says maintaining an active lifestyle is the key to feeling decades younger. She chose the indoor option after considering jumping out of a plane like former President George H.W. Bush has done on his previous birthdays. That's pretty amazing. And that's our time for 4029 News on the Arkansas CW. For news and weather anytime, log on to 4029tv.com and join us in 30 minutes on 4029 News at 10. But right now, it's Seinfeld here on the Arkansas CW.